Well, this should be fun. Oh man, don't nobody like this movie. I think I just see one dude that liked it though. I did see one review of a guy that liked it, but there may be more out there. I'm just saying. Seems like most of what I'm seeing, people don't give a damn. Get over and follow the nerdrotic. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. Oh boy. I remember seeing this when I was a kid. Mom was watching it.
Play the back tones.
He did. The spaceship blows the damn windows. I remember that. That's literally creepy though. That worked for me. Beat. Going beatboxing.
Greetings, you over 1 million lovers of cinema, for which every single one of you has enjoyed a Steven Spielberg movie at one point in your life, and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet, who have also enjoyed a Steven Spielberg movie or 10 at some point in your life. This may be the most difficult review I've ever had to record in the history of this channel. While I obviously have no problems ripping a bad movie, and quite often, oh hell, all the time, I enjoy it, this is not that day. I do not relish the thought of giving a Steven Spielberg movie a bad review, but here we are. This is the cinematic equivalent of taking away Grandpa's car keys, because without a doubt, Disclosure Day is Steven Spielberg's worst and most disappointing film by far. And yes, I'm including 1941,
people feel
his
that way.
subpar segment in the Twilight Zone movie. Hook, Always, BFG, and Ready Player One are masterpieces compared to this, and I would go so far as to say that Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull is better than Disclosure Day, and that's not even an Indiana Jones film. I would even watch the most vanity project in the history of vanity projects, Fablemans, over watching Disclosure Day again. Steven Spielberg doesn't have a perfect record, but even in his mediocre films, there is a certain amount of cinematic excellence. They were well directed despite having crappy stories. The same cannot be said for Disclosure Day. And full disclosure for me, I'm not only a UFO enthusiast, I'm a hardcore believer. So much so, I do a show every Sunday night at 5:30 p.m. Central called Forbidden Frontier, where we discuss the UFO topic and many more. Inspired by the late great Art Bell, I've read hundreds of books on the UFO subject, from Jacques Vallée to Richard
He's in deep. He's in deep. That's what she said.
Dolan.
I didn't know you could read.
And considering Steven Spielberg wrote and directed the greatest UFO movie of all time, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I was cautiously optimistic. The best description of Disclosure Day, I mean, aside from it being Nuns on the Run, which is pretty spot on, is that it is the most boomer movie of boomer movies in the truest sense of the word boomer. Now, of course, the corporate critics love it, and the cope out there is we plebs didn't understand it. So forgive us for being so media illiterate that when we go to see a movie called Disclosure Day, we expect to see some actual disclosure. And not an entire film about the lead up to it.
Exactly.
All the interesting stuff, what happens after Disclosure Day. But
you haven't seen the movie. Well, he's spoiling it already, and but yeah, it's like going to see a Batman movie, and you see everything that leads up to it, and then you see him step out in the cape and cowl, and then it cuts. Like, that's what it's like. It's like, wait a minute, you gave us everything up to what made him Batman, and then you cut it. We didn't get to see him fight crime. We didn't get to see him do nothing. Just, oh my God. I don't know any director that could get away with that. Anyone.
we got you.
As you can see, it's not working here.
Me right. Not sorry for spoiling this, because I'm saving 2 hours and 25 minutes of your life. The actual disclosure happens at the very end of the film in the most cringe way possible, and we don't see what happens afterwards. The film revolves around 3 underdeveloped primary characters who you could care less about, starting with Daniel Kellner, who's modeled after Edward.
The only one I liked was Emily Blunt's character.
Noted. A man who was considered a traitor by all the politicians Steven Spielberg supports. Daniel steals alien technology that looks like the crystal from the Fortress of Solitude and long-hidden files of human-alien contact from a government agency called Wardex, the most incompetent government agency this side of chaos.
It's not what the drinker called it, though.
Reference for you. He does this because he feels like humanity has a right to know something I completely agree with. He manages to free his girlfriend, who used to be a nun, from the most incompetent government agency this side of chaos, and it plays out like this.
Oh, Lordy Lord, he's desperate. Do what he say. Do what he say.
Now, the leader of this incompetent government agency is Noah Scanlon, played by Colin Firth, who back in his younger days would have been a perfect Arthur Dent. Anyway, the main character is played by Emily Blunt, who isn't really brilliant in this, playing the weather woman Margaret Fairchild. She plays a weather woman who aspires to be an anchor whose super secret alien powers are unlocked by a horrifically CGI'd bird. She's also dating a musician played by Wyatt Russell, and this is just...
Yeah, the majority of the CGI is clearly CGI. You know when you know something's CGI, but you're like, damn, that looks good. Like, damn, that looks real. You know, it's not like that. It's like, I'm really surprised they didn't. This is Steven Spielberg. I'm really surprised that they didn't spend more time on this.
For Wyatt Russell, between you and I, you need to fire your agent, brother, because you need to stop taking roles that cast you as an idiot cuck. But you are a great John Walker in the MCU who did nothing wrong. Now, Margaret and Daniel are supposed to have some sort of mysterious connection that is part of the mystery box of this film, but anybody with two working brain cells outside of the corporate critics can figure out immediately that they were alien abductees. Then the rest of the film is a game of, well, I can't call it cat and mouse. Let's call it Helen Keller and Ricky Berwick. And all this is happening while the world is on the brink of World War III. How exactly would you know this? Through a couple of incidental lines, some background news clips, and one panic buying scene at a gas station. And to show how out of date this film is, World War III is between the US, North Korea, and Russia. I guess Hollywood has either not gotten or refused to get their World War III update. You never get the sense that the world is on the brink of destruction because they're telling you, but they're not really showing you. All while following underdeveloped and uninteresting characters, which is the other problem with Disclosure Day. Margaret and Daniel are guided by a mysterious character played by the very talented Coleman Domingo, a former Wardex agent known as Hugo Wakefield, who helped an alien escape. That would have been pretty neat to see. Did they show it to you? No, they just tell you. And I'm going to be real. Hugo Wakefield acts as a magical Negro in Disclosure Day, and you know it's true. Now, the super secret powers that the aliens imbued Margaret with through a horrifically CGI bird are the ability to read minds, the ability to look like past or current loved ones, speak and understand other languages fluently, and she is able to speak the alien language, which sounds suspiciously like this. Daniel was given the ability to intuitively read the mathematics of the universe. Now, there's no word.
It did kind of sound like that.
CGI animal gave him these powers. I guess it wasn't important, like actually showing us why the world is on the brink of World War III, where the aliens come from, what their motivation was, and how the hell the humans figured out how to work those 3 crystals from the Fortress of Solitude. Speaking of the alien gobbledygook magical crystals, 2 were stolen by Daniel from Wardex, but they were able to maintain possession of one that Colin Firth uses to possess the body of Daniel's former nun girlfriend to try to kill him. And this is where what was left of my suspension of disbelief went out the window, because we all know what a real dude would do if he started possessing a woman's body.
You've come back to life, and this time, you're a woman.
Really? I've always wanted to get my hands on one of these.
They really went the long way around on trying to kill Daniel when Wardex had multiple opportunities to kill both Margaret and Daniel by shooting them in the face, and didn't because the script wouldn't allow it. I should have known what I was in for when I heard Colin Firth's first line in this film, which was, well, this is all rather disappointing. So let's get this over with. After 2 hours of running around with underdeveloped characters and an underdeveloped story filled with contrivances and abysmal world building, we reach the end where we're finally going to get some disclosure. Now, earlier on in the film, Daniel suggested that they should just dump everything on the internet. Coleman Domingo's character says that's not possible because it's all about timing, and we all know there's no authoritative sources on the internet. No, he has a better plan. Now, throughout the film, they have been rebuilding a house inside of a warehouse that turns out to be Margaret's childhood home, which somehow helps her recover her suppressed childhood memories of being abducted by aliens. Now, the last time I checked, Coleman Domingo's Hugo Wakefield and Daniel were both in possession of alien crystals that can be used to possess a human body and read their mind, but I guess building Margaret's childhood home in painstaking detail in a warehouse without being discovered by Wardex was much easier. And I can hear you asking now, dear viewer, a very important question. Did they rebuild Daniel's house in painstaking detail so they can recall memories about alien abduction? Nah, he's a dude. He's not important. He just figured it out when Margaret did. And what was the big revelation? Well, something the audience knew the entire film, and we were just waiting for the characters to catch up. Both Daniel and Margaret were abducted as children, and this is where they got their alien powers from, and I'm using their language, aliens presenting as bad CGI animals. The aliens made this decision because they didn't want to frighten the children, although any child that saw any of these CGI animals would be horrified. And to make the children feel more comfortable with the spaceship and all the experiments, they had them go into the Hansel and Gretel house. After escaping Wardex again, this time in invisible fire trucks, and no, I'm not kidding, they finally make it back to the Kansas City news station where we will get what we've been waiting for the entire film. Just
that thing, she was able to make everybody invisible.
Disclosure, which comes as an info dump. Now, Colin Firth and Wardex do make it in time to stop them, even going so far as to cut off the power, but Margaret's able to turn it back on with their alien gobbledygook device. Now, you would think that this is the point where Colin Firth and Wardex just kill everybody in the building to protect the secret they have been protecting for 79 years.
They sit down and let it happen.
They just give up. And it's at this point Disclosure Day becomes a comical fantasy because we're expected to believe that everybody is watching broadcast news on their phone, including North Korean soldiers and Russians. If you want to guarantee everyone misses Disclosure Day, just put it on CNN. So while they're dumping all this info of Roswell, recovering alien bodies, recovering alien ships, military encounters with UFOs, without any context in an era of AI that I'm sure everyone will believe, Coleman Bingo rolls out an alien in a wheelchair who whispers in Daniel's ear so he can translate it to Margaret, who goes on the air and says one word, listen. And I shit you not, that's where the movie ends.
That's it. That's it.
And it turns out Disclosure Day is almost as disappointing as the so-called real disclosure we've been getting from the government over the last few years.
Dude, you know Lou Elizondo risked his career to tell us there might be something he might have heard and it might be dangerous. And there's a documentary, and I'm going to see James Clapper on a documentary. James fucking Clapper. He gets an attack of the honesties about UFOs.
And the irony is, in a film called Disclosure Day, where they're actually supposed to disclose things and answer questions, we're just left with a bunch of questions. Like, what did the alien whisper to Daniel? Is humanity on the menu? What were the aliens' true intent?
What makes me think of, like, how the ending was. Remember in Superman 1978, when after he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, he becomes Superman. You know, he gets all the knowledge and everything. And it's his first flight. He flies, and then he banks, and he moves, and that would be like this it ending there. And you're like, what the?
Aside from asking humanity to practice empathy, what were their long-term goals, and where in the hell were they from? Are they intergalactic aliens, interdimensional aliens, or us from the future or past? What was the Hansel and Gretel connection, and why did they pick these two random children? Well, maybe it was because the aliens are on the Epstein list. Why would Steven Spielberg think that a bunch of poorly CGI'd animals walking up to children and staring at them would make them feel more comfortable? And as far as Disclosure Day leading Christians to question their faith in God, the only thing they'll be questioning after watching it is their faith in humanity. But I guess the most important one was, how in the hell did Wardex manage to keep Disclosure from happening this long when they were all retarded? Well, maybe just like the real life Disclosure, the final act of Disclosure Day is in a skiff. If you know, you know.
I do know a lot of that information, but that's something I can't discuss publicly.
I'm even legally allowed to speak on it, and the people in the room are even legally allowed to hear it.
I can't discuss that in an open session.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a conversation this year for that.
I can't discuss that publicly.
I cannot get those publicly.
I do know the names. Once again, I can't discuss that publicly. Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Oh, come on! It's almost like this film was the government-approved disclosure. And what a missed opportunity. It's not like there's dozens of books out there that Steven Spielberg could have either adapted or used as a template, like The Day After Roswell by Philip Corso, or AD After Disclosure by Richard Dolan. Steven Spielberg is the man who made Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which has one of the best film openings of all time, where they're in the Sonora Desert and they find Flight 19. That film hits every beat of the UFO cultural zeitgeist of the time. And it includes a cameo from ufologist legend J. Allen Hynek. And Lacombe is based on UFO researcher Jacques Vallée. But just as close...
Damn, man, you are in deep.
Counters hit every beat. Day of Disclosure misses every beat. It's drab, stale, predictable, on the nose, uninspiring, and I don't know when Steven Spielberg forgot to use color. And it's the ultimate how it started, how it's going, because it shows a filmmaker who's lost his sense of wonder. This is the man who made us afraid to not only go in the ocean, but step into a kiddie pool because we were afraid a shark was in it. This is the man who made not only the greatest adventure film, but the greatest film of all time, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Coincidentally, Disclosure Day came out on its 45th anniversary. This is the man who captured a generation through authenticity and wonder. E.T. and a film he totally didn't direct, Poltergeist, could have been filmed in my neighborhood. Simply put, he's the greatest director of all time, and that's without question. He defined cinema in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Hell, he created the summer blockbuster with Jaws. Even when
I know what he believes is the greatest director of all time and the greatest film of all time. All right.
he wasn't directing and you put his name on a film, it became a hit. Now, had a lot to do with a lot of his proteges becoming great directors, but the aforementioned Poltergeist, Gremlins, Goonies, Back to the Future. I was at a special screening of Saving Private Ryan with a bunch of World War II vets who were all bawling by the end of that film. But the sad thing is, we lost Spielberg a long time ago. The olds out there might remember that Hollywood completely rejected him in the beginning. Jaws should have won Best Picture. Raiders of the Lost Ark should have won Best Picture. E.T. should have won Best Picture. But it shouldn't have won the Oscar for Best Special Effects over Blade Runner. That was ridiculous. And yes, he should have won Best Picture for Saving Private Ryan. But somewhere along the line, we lost Spielberg and he became part of the machine. And now when he wants to dip his feet back into genre, he doesn't know what to do. Disclosure Day is awful, but it will in no way tarnish Steven Spielberg's legacy. The only thing that could possibly do that is being the person who discovered Rachel Zegler.
They're very
Oh, God.
It is time to take away those keys, Grandpa, because you have become a danger to yourself and others.
nerdrotic.com.
Some would argue that he was always part of the machine. Yep. There we have it, folks. It is very lackluster. It is very lackluster. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. It's right there. It's meh for me, you know. So I think that's what I gave. Yeah, that's what I gave it. So let me know what you all thought about it. Did you like it? Did you love it? Is there anybody that loved it? Did you love it? I know there's people that thought it was meh and didn't like it. And I know there's people that liked it, but I don't know if there's anybody that loved it. You know what I mean? 10 million subscribers. Woo.